Yo, it's Gray Matter. So, we got some serious stuff that we need to discuss. Something real that I actually been really sitting down and thinking about and was debating if I even wanted to talk about this shit, in all honesty. Watching videos, hearing people describe, certain individuals. They were discussing the nice guy and they were talking about how the nice guy is just a manipulator and all he wants to do is do nice things for the woman to get in her drawers, right? And of course I had a problem with that. I personally just I was like, man, that's bullshit. But whatever, I didn't want to make a video on it. I felt I've said enough about nice guys, right? And I had a conversation with somebody, right? And he was talking about getting married and how you're supposed to get married, yada yada. It's talking about all the things that's going on in the world nowadays. It's talking about how it's being brainwashed. He asked me if I want to get married. Like right now, no. Like I don't. I can't even see myself with somebody at this moment in my life now. And then hearing what he was saying, because of course he was, using scripture and discussing, what men need to do, so on and so forth. And then I realized it all started to click. Let me tell you something about a lot of nice guys, or at least a lot of nice guys that I know and from personal experience what I was like back in the day. Okay, you're raised to be a simp. Okay, you're raised to be, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with growing up Christian. I do not regret that at all, okay? But you're taught all these things and then you go out into the real world and you're just unprepared. They don't teach you how to deal with women. They don't teach you how women act. They don't teach you how these women like really do the things that they do. You know what I'm saying? You're in church thinking that this chick is a nice girl and everything, but she was just getting her shit ran the night before, and then she, got up, probably took a quick shower or something, fixed her hair a little bit, and then she went right into church and got to praying, asking God for a husband. And the preacher is like, you gonna get it, you gonna all this stuff, right? Not knowing that she's literally every time she's with it is disqualifying herself from marriage, like straight up. In a perfect world, we all will be virgins, and whoever we pick, that's who we be with. That's how it originally was supposed to be. All right. But in today's day and age, especially with the way marriage has been perverted, there's no way in hell this shit is going to work out. You have the introduction of feminism. Women do not even want the position of a helpmeet. They don't even want that. It's like they're mad at God or something, right? They don't want to be a helpmeet. They'll tell you that they submit when they feel like it or when they see that you're a leader, right? But their idea of leading is based on how much money you make and nothing else. The Bible doesn't judge your worth on your money, but she does. Scripture says the man is supposed to be the head of the house, but she's constantly fighting you for control. But we're still trying to pressure men into getting married. Because if you're out there and you're, exercising your options, or say you find a chick and you bust down, so on and so forth, you're in sin and you're evil. But then you get into a relationship and then you end up in a position to where you're in bondage and find yourself losing half of your possessions. Your life is being cut short. You're adding more stress and more years. You're taking years off of your life because you decide to get married. You have too many chameleons out there. You have so many of these chicks. And I'm not just saying, oh, it's 1%. No, bro. Like 80% of divorces are initiated by women, bro. And you got a 70% chance of that shit happening. At least out here in the West. So really sit down and think about that shit. Really. You read scripture and it says, well, if you have lustful desires, you should get married. It's better if you're dealing with lust and you're dealing with... So essentially, because every man on earth has an attraction to a woman, because of my attraction to women, I have to go out and get married. But the problem is there are plenty of men, pastors to included, people in the church included, not just the world. This stuff ain't just happening out in the secular world. I've talked to other people going through sexless marriages. Some of them was leaders in the church or leaders in their respective church, and their wives is running game on them. You going 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. But they'll teach you that if you divorce and find another woman because she's not doing her wifely duties and she's putting you in the position to fall, but if you divorce her and go and talk to someone else, then that automatically means that you're in adultery, according to them. So it's a catch-22. So what do you do in this situation? What do you really do in that situation? Really? I've seen men say that they would rather be out here piping down chicks than dealing with the things that they dealt with. Bro, I'm gonna be blunt. Me personally, I've seen so many divorces in my life that it's not even funny. I've seen so many breakups in my life, it's not even funny. Personally. What do you think that's doing to my morale? Let alone the other men who have seen and experienced this shit. And keep in mind, this ain't a shot at the church, but I'm gonna be blunt. You're not preparing your men for this. You're not. And then you look in scripture and realize what marriage really is. And then you look at what we got now and you realize that the whole thing is perverted. This ain't real marriage. You'll get kicked out of church for quote unquote shacking up, but in all honesty, that's how they used to do it back in the day. I'm tired of it, bro. I am. And then you going out here, right? You're this nice guy because you were taught that to pretty much pedestalize women. You're doing nice things for this chick. You're being there. You're a shoulder to cry on. You talk to her. You want to pray with her and everything. You want to do all this stuff for her. And the whole time she getting fucked on by somebody else. Your girl or the girl that was supposedly prophesied for you was out there getting smashed. And then you find out the hard way because she was keeping it secret. And then one day she just shows up and you just gotta find out, right? And then that break your heart. And then before you know it, you ain't even the same man no more. Now you like, fuck all the bullshit. And then on top of that, because in your mind you was thinking about a future and having a companion, you know what I'm saying, maybe kids, you was just madly in love with this chick. Meanwhile, everybody else calling you a manipulator, which is the biggest gaslight on the face of the earth. But you know, people ain't gonna see that. The guy that she was getting fucked on by, who was just, you know, putting her in a slot, he was just her bust down, her fucking. And you know, she was just in his rotation. That's the guy, that's the real one. He the real nigga because he laid it down. He put it down how it should have been put down. And she willingly slaughtered herself accordingly to his game plan, which was no plan at all. And she was completely comfortable with that. Let me tell you something, bro. That chick actually despises you for how nice you are. She fucking hates you for it. She's disgusted by it. She thinks you're weak. I'm just being blunt. That bitch think you weak. Even in Bible study, them chicks in Bible study be doing the same shit. How many of them out there trying to change the bad boy? But yet we're trying to goad the men to get married. Miss me with that shit. For real, miss me with that shit. And yeah, it's just a real conversation. What you do is what you do. I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I'm not going to condemn you. I'm not going to do none of that shit. Okay, me personally, if I do some way somehow end up married, the moment I see some fuck shit, I'm fucking leaving. Fuck the paperwork. I'll just have to figure out how to safeguard my finances so I don't lose half my shit and, you know, she get rewarded for cheating or some stupid ass shit like that. Because it's all a leverage game. The moment you sign that paperwork and you buy that fucking ring and you put all that shit on her, which they have crazy ass stipulations for that too. If you even get a ring that's good enough, good luck if you're in your early 20s. You ain't buying no fat ass rock in your early 20s unless you know, sign some contract with somebody somewhere and they pays you a fuck ton of money, and even then, you don't own yourself. This is for people who try to do music in the music business and shit. That's why I want to be, you know, that's why I want to own my own shit. But that's beside the point. Back to what I was getting at. If you think you buying some fat ass rock and you having some big ass mansion and shit in your early 20s, 95% of you niggas ain't doing that shit. 95% of all of us ain't doing that shit. I'm 28. I'm still fucking broke. Alright. I ain't taking no bitch to no fucking Ruth Chris and Benihana. That shit ain't happening. But best believe they had a whole ass poll on social media about that shit. You ain't a real man if you ain't doing this. You ain't a real man if you doing that. Nothing but fucking emasculation, gaslighting, and usury. And this is the dating pool we have to choose from. And keep in mind, shit like this been going on, bro. Chicks been fucking ruining men and their empires for thousands of years. I refuse to be in a position where I'm constantly in conflict with the person I share a bed with. We're not doing that shit. So, yeah. It is what it fucking is, bro. It is what it is. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I can sit here. I'm not Coach Greg Adams, so I'm not finna lay out a whole marriage wheel and everything. But I was just listening to a chick not too long ago, where she was saying that the women lead the household just because they do dishes and do housework, and then they said that they're fucking what was it? Married single mothers? Like what is that shit? You're a married single mother because the man came home from work and didn't help out with the kids. So now they're crying about doing shit that they're supposed to be doing. You can't win. You can't fucking win. Forget the fact that his hard work is the reason why you even have that house to complain in the first place. Whatever, you can't win. I'm fucking tired, bro. I'm fucking tired. And then they try to condemn you for doing something different. Like what? You want us to die young? Die early? Be in bondage? If you're not with a chick that's respecting you, and you're not with a chick that's getting with your program, you're not with a chick that's actually going to be submissive and fall in line, you're fucked. And a lot of these chicks are real good at manipulating and seducing men into marrying them. I can't tell you how many relationships I watch, and do you just hear her talk, and you're like, oh shit, he in for a fucking rude awakening. Like, fuck. You can't tell the dude because he in love. Either that or he in too deep. Oh man. We need these laws changed. We need this shit changed. Like, we really need this change. I'm not finna go deep into, you know, any more of that shit. I was gonna talk about like statistics and all this shit, but fuck the statistics. Give me a reason why I should marry, besides condemnation, and then we'll talk. Like, a chick's gonna have to present way more than whatever the fuck was going on, whatever the fuck's going on with this shit, like, for real. And then knowing that a lot of these women been getting fucked on since they was fucking 14 and 13 years old, willingly. I'm not talking about rape. I'm talking about willingly. You gonna have to present something else to me. You gonna have to go above and fucking beyond if you want to talk to me. Fuck out of here. Yeah, y'all bitches getting mad because a man said he the prize. Yeah, and you got dudes, preacher men and shit, trying to fucking force us to get married, and a lot of them, they marriages ain't even fucking right. I said what I said. I see the same shit I'm seeing out in the world, I'm seeing in the church. This is just real talk. This is no way a reflection of who God is. This is people we're talking about. So don't get this shit twisted. But I'm done. I'm done talking on this. You know, I forgot everything else I was going to say. It's just so much that's on my mind at the moment. I'm just going to leave it at that. Peace.